Part 15. The Lucky Bag is Reborn with Space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 141. Chapter 141. Believe her. Girl, this is a matter of life and death, so don't mess around. The field director was also worried, although when it came to this, it was basically like what people say about treating a dead horse as a living horse doctor. But this is also a life. You can't just watch this girl bring harm to others. Director, now, how long do you think Songmoding can live lying there? If he lies there, he will definitely die. If I go to save him, maybe he will still have a chance to survive. You make your own choice. Well, what are we going to do? It's not that Zhang Xiaoxiao is shirking responsibility. It's that if he doesn't speak openly at this time, the director of the meeting may even stop him. If he is interrupted again in the process of treating the wound, it will be fatal. The field director was speechless and embarrassed. He watched the man lying there, knowing that he would definitely die. But what if he opens his mouth and asks this ignorant girl to treat people's injuries? What to do if you die? I am the director of the field and I have to bear this responsibility. Zhang Xiaoxiao didn't hesitate, took the things and left. As soon as he opened the door, Zhang Xiaoxiao was almost knocked over by the oncoming wind and snow. Zhang Xiaoxiao tried hard to hold onto the door frame to steady himself. He was secretly glad that he didn't ask anyone to take Songmoding to the hospital just now. Otherwise, there is no need to say anything else now. It's just this wind. It's strange that they can walk through it. Once you get stuck in the snow and lose your way, you may not know how you will die. The field manager looked and saw that the girl had gone out. Why was he still here? Locked the door and followed Zhang Xiaoxiao. The two of them finally returned to the educated youth spot. As soon as Zhang Xiaoxiao pushed the door open, several people turned around and looked over. Xiaoxiao, come quickly, brother Song is awake. Jia Shu pointed at the Kong excitedly. Zhang Xiaoxiao squeezed through the crowd and saw Songmoding looking at him. Go over and check his eyes and pulse. It was much smoother, much better than the journey just now. Finally felt comforted in my heart. How are you feeling? It just hurts a lot in my back, nothing else. Songmoding gritted his teeth and replied. When Zhang Xiaoxiao touched him, he could feel the temperature being very high. He has a fever. It was caused by wound infection. I want to give you a simple treatment of the wound and take out the branch, but there is no anesthetic. Songmoding's injury is too serious and cannot be delayed at all. There is no better way now. She is a doctor and knows how cruel what she means is. Songmoding nodded with difficulty, his eyes gentle. I know, just come. I can bear it. Very cooperatively proving his words, he gritted his teeth and turned sideways. Zhang Xiaoxiao unbuttoned his clothes. Songmoding glanced at the blood-stained military coat and closed his eyes silently. Zhang Xiaoxiao glanced at the dim light, turned around and told everyone, get all the flashlights in the room, I need them, otherwise I can't see clearly. Jia Shu and everyone quickly went to find him. They basically have a flashlight in each house and a few batteries. Bring them all. Zhang Xiaoxiao asked Jia Shu and Hieguo to use 2 flashlights, and the light finally met the requirements. He took off the scarf on Songmoding's shoulders, revealing a head of thick but messy hair. Then carefully took off his heavy coat. No. The coat is too thick and the branches are in a very tricky position. Looking at the wound carefully, she could not see blood or other signs of injury because of the obstruction of clothes and branches. However, he was obviously seriously injured and was suffering from severe pain. A pair of scissors, she said. I will cut your clothes. Songmoding smiled and nodded. Can I still regret a piece of clothing? Zhang Xiaoxiao picked up the scissors and cut open the clothes, letting the fabric fall on the bed. The position of the branches can be seen clearly, but they are not very deep. Fortunately, they are not very deep. There is no damage to the internal organs. Because of her movements, blood seeped out from the wound. She took off her coat neatly, her whole heart focused on the patient. Lie on your right side. Hyeguo and Gudali helped Songmoding turn over. She turned around to get what she needed while ordering others to cooperate. Gudali and Hyeguo were basically sent to work stupidly. Others were silent as well. The director is in a hurry. Songmoding, this Zhang Xiaoxiao is not a doctor. I think your injury is very serious. What if, hey, what can I say? I'm just worried. Don't blame Xiaoxiao. He couldn't bear this responsibility, especially since Songmoding accepted Zhang Xiaoxiao's treatment so calmly. This attitude is too casual. These young people don't take their lives seriously. Gudali and the others took a look at the field director. Seems a little stunned and unable to react. What does the director mean by these words? Songmoding answered with his eyes closed. Director, please stop talking. I believe in Zhang Xiaoxiao. Xiaoxiao, just do it. Even though he was so seriously injured, his tone was still so calm. Especially when he answered this question, he was so confident that even the director couldn't help but feel a little bit in his heart. Could it be said that this Zhang Xiaoxiao is a different person? She looked at the director and raised her eyebrows inquiringly. That still means asking if you want to do it? The field director didn't dare to speak. How dare he make random decisions in this life and death matter? If someone dies in the end, and he is the biggest leader here, wouldn't he be held responsible? It depends on the patient's wishes. The patient can do whatever he wants. You are all witnesses. This is Song's Hiking's own wish. Gudale smiled and went up to hold Songmoding down. Director, don't worry, Xiaoxiao came to the farm with us educated youths. We encountered a wolf on the road and injured many people at that time. Everyone was injured, but there were not so many doctors to help. It's all thanks to Brother Xiaoxiao and Brother Song. They are both skilled in medicine, so don't worry. Could it be that Brother Song's injury was more serious than a wolf bite? The field director breathed a sigh of relief. He just said, how could someone put his life in the hands of a stranger? After all, Zhang Xiaoxiao is just a woman. What can a female educated youth do? Unexpectedly, something like this happened on their way here, which proves that these two people have medical skills. No wonder Songmoding dared to guarantee that he believed in Zhang Xiaoxiao just now. It turns out that he is a person who knows everything. The field director immediately said with a smile. It turns out that Zhang's hiking and Song's hiking have medical skills. I didn't even know about it. You see what happened? Okay. As long as you know what's going on. Then hurry up and save people. If you need anything, Comrade Zhang, just ask. We can help, and we will do our best to help. After all, it's a human life. After knowing the whole story, the director immediately showed a million points of enthusiasm. After all, their farm is located in a remote location, especially their forestry farm is more remote than the farm. Workers are injured more frequently than educated youths on the farm are injured. The doctor at their forestry farm was only half experienced, and he only had headaches and fever. With an injection or something, if you have any serious illness, you won't be able to see it at all. If these two educated youths could get medical treatment, it would only do them good and not bad. The days will be long in the future, and if anything happens to the workers, it will be easy for them to find a doctor. So the field director cooperated with all his strength. I also want to do it as a favor, so that it will be difficult for others to refuse if they ask for it in the future. I can say that I forgot to ask for votes. Hey, please vote for me, please add me to favorites, please comment, and please recommend me. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 142. Chapter 142, Treating a Dead Horse as a Live Doctor. Half an hour later, Zhang Xiaoxiao treated Song Moding's wound. The wound had been sutured. After pulling out the branch, it did not hurt the internal organs, but it punctured the blood vessels and caused excessive blood loss. However, after suturing, now it's no longer a serious problem. The problem is that there is a lack of medical treatment and antibacterial treatment. These simple anti-inflammatory and antibacterial drugs have no effect at all. Although Zhang Xiaoxiao has dealt with it, whether Song Moding can recover depends on himself. In this age, it is simply a joke to have to deal with this disease on your own. But now it's snowing harder outside, and the white snow is even waist deep now. It is impossible for people to go out, and it is impossible for people from outside to come up. The field director originally wanted to call Yamashita for help, but unfortunately the phone line had been disconnected long ago. Every time there is strong wind and heavy snow, their signal here is basically useless. The snow is so heavy that the forest farm is experiencing a snow disaster that is rare in a century. At this moment, the director of the forest farm is busy calling on the workers to clear the snow quickly. If the snow on the house is not swept away, over time, even though their house is strong, it will collapse. And it seemed like the snow didn't stop at all overnight. Under this situation, the farm director is more worried about their food reserves, including fuel reserves. It is impossible to start work now, every household is hiding in the house, but the snow is indeed too heavy. Seeing that Song Moding was already lying there and asleep after the operation, the field director can only be busy with disaster relief first. Song Moding was guarding Zhang Xiaoxiao. Originally, Jia Shu was going to replace Zhang Xiaoxiao here and let Zhang Xiaoxiao rest for a while. But today was the most critical night after Song Moding's surgery. She was worried that Song Moding would have a fever at night. Once it got serious, she would have no way to do it. Existing drugs could not help at all. Jia Shu didn't understand anything here, so she could only rush to call herself up. In this case, she might as well stay close by. Besides, even if she went back, she might not be able to sleep for a while. Everyone else has gone back to rest. It was a long day and everyone took a break almost at midnight. Zhang Xiaoxiao sat in front of Song Moding, and she heard his low moan. Song Moding's face was flushed, and his breath was extremely hot. My heart sank. I'm afraid Song Moding still can't deal with the subsequent problem of wound inflammation. She had no medicine at all. It's really a drop in the bucket. Zhang Xiaoxiao could only go and pour some water. Try to physically cool down as much as possible. Otherwise, there is no other way. Song Moding tossed and turned unconsciously. Zhang Xiaoxiao quickly grabbed his shoulders and firmly fixed his body. Afraid that if he moved, the wound would tear. Hand put a wet towel on his forehead with difficulty. But this doesn't work at all. Hyeguo opened the door and came in. He had been worried about Song Moding's injury. Although Zhang Xiaoxiao didn't say it, they all knew it. How could it be possible that he was so seriously injured and just wanted to heal himself with a few stitches without any medicine? What else do we need a doctor for? I was really worried, so I came in to take a look. As soon as he came in, he saw Zhang Xiaoxiao holding Song Moding in place with one hand and putting a towel on his forehead with the other. I knew in my heart that Song Moding was probably serious. Song Moding's face is now as burned as Guangong. His skin was originally white, but after his face is burned red, it looks really scary. Hurry forward. I'll come, what do you want? I'll do it. Zhang Xiaoxiao shook his head. Song Moding has a severe fever now. I just came to measure his temperature, and it was already 38 degrees 9. It is estimated that it has already passed 39 degrees. If the fever continues like this, the person will definitely be, otherwise it won't work. You take everyone's towels and go outside to freeze in the snow, and then bring another towel in after a while. I cooled him down physically. But this treats the symptoms rather than the root cause. I don't know if he can survive tonight. If he can survive tonight and the fever goes away, I'm afraid his injury will be cured. Zhang Xiaoxiao sounded frustrated. Although she was a doctor, she had never been in such a desperate situation. When she started working as a doctor, the medical conditions were somewhat better than they are now, and the country attached great importance to rural hospitals. The conditions will gradually get better and better, but there is no shortage of medical treatment and medicine to this extent like now. There is nothing she can do. Hyeguo is in a hurry to get out. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at Song Moding, who was already burning and in a daze, and felt anxious. Also keep yourself calm. Had she not been used to being a doctor in her previous life and encountered many difficulties, she would not be able to calm down now. Zhang Xiaoxiao thought of Daisy in his own space. Although I don't know the specific function of this peach, after eating this peach, a lot of dirt is discharged from the body. Even if it cannot cure all diseases, it can at least play a certain role in recovery. Now we can only treat a dead horse as a living horse, doctor. You must know that your grandma ate this peach and was saved. Has been verified. The problem is that what she is not sure about is that only the first peach seems to have the greatest effect. Later, she gave Song Moding and the others the peaches they ate on the road, but the effect seemed not to be that obvious, because there was not so much black dirt excreted from their bodies. I later tried to eat one myself, and found that the peach taste at the back was really good and delicious. But after taking it for the first time, the feeling of general comfort did not seem to be that strong. You can't just look at Song Moding like this and be helpless. Anyway, if you eat this peach, you won't die. This is a fact. Is there a worse situation than now? Zhang Xiaoxiao took out a peach. This is a serious peach. As long as you take a small bite, it is almost full of juice. Like honey. It was impossible for Song Moding to let him eat it now. He could only squeeze some peach juice from the peach and feed it to him. Zhang Xiaoxiao struggled for a long time and finally fed him most of the peach. The remaining peaches can no longer be called peaches. To put it bluntly, there is only the peach core and some peach skin. Song Moding can't live without people now, so he can only throw this thing in space. Seeing Song Moding finish eating the peach, he seemed to be much quieter. At least it's not like the tossing and turning and moaning just now. I feel at peace in my heart. It seems to be somewhat effective. Hyeguo came in to help change towels, and Zhang Xiaoxiao excused himself to go to the toilet. Going outside to the snow, I wiped my hands on the snow on the road. My hands were covered with peach juice, and they were so sticky that I felt very uncomfortable. The snow in the yard has been cleared, but after a while, the snow has reached my calves again. It looks like the snowstorm is unlikely to stop tonight. Zhang Xiaoxiao took a walk and went back to replace Hyeguo. End of this chapter. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Lucky Bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 143. Chapter 143 Embarrassment. Hyeguo went back to rest. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at Song Moding. Looked at the thermometer again, it seemed that the temperature was dropping. But while doing physical cooling, I also ate peaches. Even if it doesn't have any big effect, it has a small effect. He nodded with satisfaction. After a while, she was waiting for the measurement again. Song Moding's body temperature has dropped to 37 degrees. Zhang Xiaoxiao finally felt relieved. In the early hours of the morning, Zhang Xiaoxiao suddenly woke up. She had been guarding Song Moding, but she had been tired for a day. Later, sleepiness came over her, and she couldn't help but fall asleep next to him. When he opened his eyes again, he was startled. What if Song Moding had something when she fell asleep? She doubted whether he could survive last night if he was as irresponsible as she was. Hurriedly put your hand on his chest and then moved it up to his neck, feeling for his pulse. Although it is a little more rapid, it is still beating after all. The temperature is also within a reasonable range. She breathed a sigh of relief. I won't die here, doctor. There was a hint of teasing in his voice, mixed with fatigue. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at him in surprise. Are you awake? How do you feel? It is a good thing if people can wake up. Song Moding woke up from his sleep. His pulse was rapid, but the muscles in his body did not move at all. He doesn't often sleep so deeply, but when he wakes up, he immediately thinks of what happened last night. He looked around and secretly blamed himself. My physical condition seems to have recovered. At least now compared to last night, I can feel everything clearly. Except for the pain of the wound, it is not too bad. Zhang Xiaoxiao was leaning on his pillow, on his right side, with his head resting in front of his pillow. With her face pressed against his pillow and her eyes closed tightly, he saw her hair was messy and her face was pale. She put one hand on his shoulder and hugged his shoulder tightly to prevent his body from turning. The wound made him frown, and his heart felt even warmer. In this situation, she did not forget to protect his wounds. Thick hair covered his cheeks, and he could feel her soft skin and sweet breath. He took a slow, deep breath, not wanting to wake her up. Her other hand was on his head, but it felt like it was on his heart, and that pleasant feeling spread warmly throughout her body. Now he doesn't need to fantasize about the wonderful and exciting feeling when he touches her, but actually feels her warmth and softness. It is tempting to lie down and enjoy her touch. He gently pulled her hand down with his hand, brought it to his lips and kissed it gently, then put it back gently. Then she woke up unexpectedly. She opened her sleepy eyes, her eyelashes fluttered a few times and then closed. The dark eyes were filled with mysterious laziness. This was the first time he saw her clearly in a bright place. Such a close distance. Then Zhang Xiaoxiao found that half of his body was numb. The moment he almost stood up, he almost threw himself directly on Song Moding's face. It was just a little bit close. If he hadn't reacted quickly, Zhang Xiaoman would have been embarrassed today. Except for a little pain in my shoulder, everything seems fine. Very good, you took care of me all night last night. This is an affirmative sentence. Song Moding was very apologetic. Zhang Xiaoxiao rubbed his numb arms and said with a smile. That's not what it should be. You were injured trying to save me. If I didn't take care of you, I would be too heartless. I'm not that kind of person. Do you want to drink some water? Zhang Xiaoxiao fed him a lot of water last night. Song Moding's face turned red and he shook his head. Why are you blushing? Zhang Xiaoxiao was puzzled. Call me Gu Dali, or Hieguo. Song Moding whispered, his eyes anxious. Zhang Xiaoxiao was surprised. What are you going to do? I'll do it. Why bother them? They worked hard all night to clear the snow from the room last night. Hieguo gave you an ice towel last night. You ran around all night, and now he must not be awake yet. Song Moding was speechless. Zhang Xiaoxiao really couldn't help him in this matter. Then help me up, I want to go out for a while. Your wound will burst before it heals. What on earth are you going to do? Let me help you. Zhang Xiaoxiao was dissatisfied. There was nothing he could not say as a patient. Still secretive. Song Moding was aggrieved, that can be said. Just help me up, I want to make it easier. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at him expressionlessly, thinking about what caused his face to turn dark and his originally gentle eyes to become stern. Then these words woke her up. Then he burst into laughter. Screw it, she is a doctor, how could she be surprised or embarrassed by something that everyone must do every day? Okay, brother Song. The naughty expression made Song Moding blush. He knew it would be like this. This is embarrassing, okay. I have actually reached the point where I need to say such words to a woman. I have never been embarrassed in my life. Zhang Xiaoxiao helped him stand up, and Song Moting felt that he was recovering well. There is no dizziness or dizziness caused by excessive blood loss. It's really magical. It's not that I don't know what happened yesterday. After one night, he can still be so strong. Zhang Xiaoxiao helped him out, but he couldn't reach the toilet. To access the toilet, you have to walk to a public toilet 500 meters away. Song Moting leaned against the wall, and Zhang Xiaoxiao brought him something. She had walked away a few meters and could see him when she turned around. She would be afraid that Song Moting would faint if it was too far away. Then she heard a rushing sound, like water. She stared curiously at the glass window of the educated youth's house in front of her. Then after there was no sound, she turned back and looked at his expressionless face. She immediately blushed with embarrassment. Lower your head. Another question occurred to him. From a medical point of view, at least his high fever did not damage his kidneys. Song Moting tried his best not to make a sound, but finally accepted the embarrassing fact. He couldn't make any sound at all. He stood, his eyelids swollen from the high fever, and his huge body trembled slightly. Zhang Xiaoxiao tried hard not to laugh, it was very rude. Let's go, I'll help you in. Zhang Xiaoxiao reached out to grab him and almost fell down with the weight of his body. I'm sorry, he breathed heavily. Song Moting, you're actually up? You don't want your life? Gu Dali's fussing voice instantly caused more than a dozen people to appear in the yard. Everyone looked at Zhang Xiaoxiao struggling to support Song Moting with their mouths agape, and the two of them were almost hugging each other. If you don't come over and give me a hand, I won't be able to hold him up. Zhang Xiaoxiao wanted to die, but she didn't know that Song Moting's weight would crush her. It wasn't so heavy just now. Gu Dali and Hyeguo rushed forward in a hurry. The joining of the two grown men immediately freed Zhang Xiaoxiao. Finally helped the person into the house. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 144. Chapter 144, 3 days and 3 nights. Feeling better. Zhang Xiaoxiao put his hand on his forehead. A little. His physical pain has subsided, as has his headache. He felt tired, weak, and a little sleepy, but he felt better after being back in a warm room. That's good, cook him some porridge. He needs to eat to recover faster. It seems that we have won. Song Moting's strength has overcome his wounds. I am proud to say that Song Moting is alive. Zhang Xiaoxiao is proud of himself, but he still feels a little guilty. She most likely felt that it was not because of her medical skills that allowed Song Moting to survive, but that it had something to do with dizzy. The biggest possibility is that space can help. Otherwise, even the world's top doctors would be unable to do anything here. Is it possible that you can conjure medicine? Everyone cheered immediately. Okay, I'll make porridge, Xiao Xiao. You can rest for a while, eat and go to bed. We will take care of Song Moting. You have been tired all night, thank you for your hard work. You are our great hero. Jia Shu hurriedly went to cook porridge. Gu Dali also nodded, I'm going to help. Zhang Xiaoxiao, you are really amazing. Thumbs up and went to the kitchen. Hyeguo fed Song Moting some water. Song Moting looked at Zhang Xiaoxiao's pale face and felt guilty because he had exhausted Zhang Xiaoxiao. Go and rest, they are here. Zhang Xiaoxiao shook his head, I'm going to check your wound. If you go to bed now and have to get up to eat later, it's too troublesome. Why don't I take this opportunity to check your wound, wait for you to eat, and finally go to bed? Otherwise, I can't sleep well. Zhang Xiaoxiao stepped forward and took off his clothes. They were really in tatters. Zhang Xiaoxiao had just put a coat on him. Then he focused on opening the strips of cloth used to fix the dressing, and carefully removed the gauze covering the wound. Then he was surprised to see that the original bright red color around the wound had become lighter. Even though it had only been one night, the wound had healed. This is impossible. Looking carefully, Hyeguo exclaimed. Songmoting, your recovery ability is so good you can recover like this in one night, you are so amazing. Zhang Xiaoxiao was speechless, knowing that there would be trouble. It's all Dizzy's fault. She knew that Tao Zi was powerful, but the problem was that it was too powerful. Songmoting couldn't see the wound himself. I have been strong and strong since I was a child. Even my grandparents said that my physical fitness is better than that of ordinary people, so I naturally recover faster. Others were injured and so painful that they couldn't get out of bed for 3 days. I can still jump around now, no problem. She hummed with satisfaction. Songmoting's explanation is really timely. Save yourself a lot of time. Some people are like this and recover faster than the average person, just like some people are allergic to eggs, some people are not allergic to it. People's bodies are different. Brother Song should be 1 in a million. Songmoting felt a faint joy in his heart. Looking at the small curve of the corner of Zhang Xiaoxiao's mouth, he felt warm in his heart for some reason. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at the wound. It seemed that her skills had not deteriorated. She threw the gauze aside and bent down to examine the wound carefully. The wound looks clean now. To make sure, she cleaned the wound again. Then continue to cover them with gauze and let them recover slowly. His body is sweating. Zhang Xiaoxiao noticed, because it meant that his high fever and pain were subsided. This is a good sign. Songmoting murmured with relief when the pain-relieving and healing red potion and simple medicine began to take effect. Feels great. It's like dying once. I know. She pulled the quilt over his shoulders. All you have to do now is lie down and rest and let your body recover. Sleep whenever you want and don't think about anything. He frowned and endured the throbbing pain of the wound. I feel much better. Zhang Xiaoxiao breathed a sigh of relief. Songmoting seemed to be fine. After Zhang Xiaoxiao finished his porridge, he was urged to go back to bed. Although Songmoting was reluctant to give up, he knew that Zhang Xiaoxiao was exhausted and had dark circles under his eyes, so he asked Jia Shu to send Zhang Xiaoxiao back. Zhang Xiaoxiao walked out of the yard and stretched himself. The wind and snow were still very heavy. But it's much better than last night. As soon as Zhang Xiaoxiao woke up, he saw that it was getting dark. Jia Shu looked at her with worried eyes. Xiaoxiao, you finally woke up. Zhang Xiaoxiao sat up and felt much better. What's wrong? Is my sleep worth all the fuss? Jia Shu couldn't hide the worry on her face. You also said, drink some water first. I will go and serve you porridge right away. Jia Shu handed her a bowl of water and shouted outside. Xiao Xiao wakes up. Ha la la, the room was full of people. Zhang Xiaoxiao was shocked. What happened? Everyone stared at her nervously. What's wrong? I just want to take a nap. What are you? Jia Shu, please don't go, I'm going to the kitchen. Hyeguo volunteered to serve porridge. Then Songmoting was helped to sit by the bed. Why are you up? Be careful about your wounds. There is a lack of medical treatment here. If your wounds open, what will you do then? Zhang Xiaoxiao shouted anxiously. He had gone through a lot of hardships and ruined the person he saved from dizzy. You don't appreciate the fruits of your labor so much. You also said that you were scaring us to death. The wound is almost healed, so you don't have to worry. Songmoting's eyes actually looked a bit anxious. Jiang's small hand suddenly pulled Songmoting's wrist, making everyone in the room hold their breath. Her fingers landed on his pulse, checking it carefully, and nodded with satisfaction. You're really recovering well, but you're recovering too fast. If I'm not wrong, your wound should have its stitches removed. Zhang Xiaoxiao's nagging made Songmoting smile in his eyes. Her hands had a strange, warm, exciting and inexplicable power that he could not forget. He longed for every slight touch from her. No other woman had skin as smooth and soft as hers. The stitches have been removed. Zhang Xiaoxiao shouted. What? Who removed the thread? Someone actually took away my job. Stare fiercely at others. Gu Dali's eyes flickered and he avoided Zhang Xiaoxiao's gaze. It's you, isn't it? I only slept for a day, and you actually took out his stitches. It will take at least a week. Otherwise something will happen. What if the wound opens again? Gu Dali swallowed his saliva. Faced with criticism, he said he couldn't do it. Zhang Xiaoxiao, sister, I removed it correctly, but Song Moding asked me to do it. You have been sleeping for 3 days and 3 nights. Song Moding looked at the wound through the mirror and said that it can be removed. It's not my fault. Zhang Xiaoxiao pointed to herself, I slept for 3 days and 3 nights. Impossible. She didn't feel any discomfort, nor was she hungry or dizzy. She didn't feel any discomfort like someone who had slept for too long. It's like just sleeping. Very comfortable. Real. Song Moding replied solemnly. Zhang Xiaoxiao couldn't help but believe it. She doesn't have to trust others, but Song Moding is not a person who talks nonsense. That means she really slept for 3 days and 3 nights. This is too exaggerated. It's not like she hasn't had surgery. She did not sleep for so long after 2 surgeries in a row. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 145. Chapter 145 Snow Disaster. Really, why are you lying to me? Yeji Unsheng replied. Everyone felt a sense of relief. First it was Song Moding, then Zhang Xiaoxiao. They are really afraid that something will happen to someone again. Okay, okay. I believe you. So what is the situation outside now? Is it possible that after I slept, the world has changed drastically? Zhang Xiaoxiao himself was confused. Xiaoxiao, the porridge is here. Eat the porridge first. You think we were frightened to death if you didn't eat for 3 days and 3 nights. We took turns to stay in front of you for 3 days and 3 nights. But you just didn't wake up. If it weren't for Song Moting did an examination and said that your breathing was stable and your pulse was normal. There was nothing abnormal. He said that you were simply asleep. Makes us anxious to death. Zhang Xiaoxiao felt really hungry while holding the hot porridge. I'm sorry, I didn't know I could sleep for so long. It can be seen that she really scared everyone. Stop talking. As long as you can wake up, we are all very happy. But you don't know that it's terrible outside. You slept for 3 days and 3 nights, and it snowed for 3 days and 3 nights. It's still snowing now. It didn't stop. The farm director came over and told us that this year might be the worst snowstorm. This road up and down the mountain is no longer possible at all. If this continues, we will all be trapped in the snow of Bingtian Mountain. We go to clear the snow every day for fear that the house will collapse. No one knows when the snow will stop. The field director said that during the worst time in history, it snowed continuously here for more than half a month. And that year there was not only one heavy snowfall, but about 20 snowfalls, and the entire mountain was buried in snow. There were no forest farms at that time, but just like that, many people in the villages down the mountain died due to snow disasters, and many died of freezing and starvation. Gu Dali explained the situation outside. Zhang Xiaoxiao glanced out the window. Although the snow in the yard had cleared, he could see that it was still snowy outside and snowflakes were still raging. The look of surprise could not be concealed at all. How so? There was a snowstorm in her last life, but she didn't seem to feel it, and she didn't remember the big disaster, that's right. In her last life, she was in the production team and was just assigned to a small collective. She did not go to the forest farm. Although life was difficult in the production team, it was much better than in the mountains. It snows a lot, but the problem is that as long as you don't go out, it doesn't matter. The most they did was sweep snow, and it was true that there was not enough food to eat. Because there are no roads. They had little to eat later. It was also because of this that Zhang Xiaoxiao suffered from stomach problems due to hunger that year, and was unable to recover for many years. Yes, many people starved to death that year. Jiao Shu was bullied by that scoundrel just to save a mouthful of food for her. Only then will you panic and freeze a leg. I remember those bad things, but I forgot about this snow disaster. Zhang Xiaoxiao sighed. Song Moding was sensitively aware of Zhang Xiaoxiao's mood changes. Don't worry. The food we have stored is pretty good. As long as we eat sparingly, we can survive until next year. The farm director also said that there will be less snow after the new year. That is more than a month. We male-educated youths we have already made an agreement with the workers at the forestry farm to cut down some more trees as soon as the snow subsides. As long as there is enough fuel, we'll all be fine. The employees of the forest farm have worked here for many years. We know better than us how to get through the snowstorm. This is a consolation. This is not what the field director said when he discussed this issue with them. Even the field director said that this is a heavy snowfall that only happens once in a century. Not only has the snow sealed the mountain and blocked the road, but it is also life-threatening to go up the mountain and cut down trees. The snow was already waist-deep. If someone accidentally fell into those snow ditches, he might be completely dead. Not only that, the field director also warned them that they would not be allowed to go up the mountain until the snow melted. Otherwise, it will really be dangerous. And it also allowed them to save some firewood. Zhang Xiaoxiao's eyes were clear and determined. She understood the meaning of the snow better than anyone else. Don't coax me. The snow is so heavy. How can we still go up the mountain to cut firewood? I think we should have a meeting to discuss what to do in the future. The firewood will last until next year, although we have made preparations in advance. Prepared. Years of firewood, but I didn't expect the snow to be so heavy. There must be some shortcomings in this. The best way now is for everyone to merge. Reduce the consumption of each house. In this case, firewood can be saved until next spring. There is also food, and food must be arranged reasonably. I guess the snow-capped mountains mean that even if the farms at the foot of the mountain want to help us, they may not be able to send them up. We have to think more about our own self-rescue. What she didn't say was that the production team at the foot of the mountain didn't have food to eat, let alone them. Even if the county wants to provide disaster relief, there is nothing we can do right now. In their place, it is not easy to go out once it snows. This is not the time in the future, when it snows, all kinds of large machines and equipment come out to help everyone clear the snow and clear the road. Now snow clearing relies entirely on manpower. How could it be possible to find out in a remote and vast place like their farm? Brother Song, let me just say it. There is no need to hide it from Xiao Xiao. What you said just now scared me so much that I dare not speak. You see how clear Xiaoxiao's mind is. As soon as you say it, he will react immediately. However, Xiao Xiao is right, we should really redistribute the dormitories. Try to squeeze everyone into the same dormitory, which can save a lot of firewood. Now we have 4 dormitories. Their girls' dormitory must be retained, but our boys' dormitory should be reduced to 2. Hyeguo said with a smile. Everyone laughed and the atmosphere suddenly relaxed. Song Moding glanced at Zhang Xiaoxiao with admiration in his eyes. This woman's brain reacts too quickly. Even though he slept for 3 days and 3 nights, as soon as he woke up, his casual words immediately captured the key point. Okay, you've eaten. If you don't feel any physical discomfort, we can rest assured. Let's go, let's go. Everyone is going out. Xiao Xiao has woken up. Don't crowd them all in this room. The air is not good either. Let's go back and discuss, what should we do? Redistribute the dormitories. Otherwise, Aguo and I can squeeze into one dormitory, so that my room can be freed up. Songmoding said with a smile. Others also nodded. As soon as Zhang Xiaoxiao woke up, they all immediately turned their attention to the disaster they were facing. After all, this is a big deal. Everybody go out. Zhang Xiaoxiao breathed a sigh of relief, and Jia Shu took the bowl and went out. Zhang Xiaoxiao went down to the Kong. After sleeping for 3 days and 3 nights, how could you not stretch your muscles? This snowstorm is probably not just that simple. At the beginning, many people in the production team below were hungry because of the snowstorm, and everyone was so hungry that they were as thin as a stick. Although there is a lot of food in your own space, you cannot take it out casually. Everyone has a certain amount of food, and no one is a fool. He should keep as much as he eats. How would she explain it if she took out these things casually? But this snowstorm is not that easy to get over. It's really worrying. Zhang Xiaoxiao felt that everything turned upside down after he slept. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Lucky Bag is Reborn with Space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 146. Chapter 146 Doubts. Hey, why is this happening? Come on, brother Song, come on, there are suddenly many rabbits and pheasants here. Gu Dali's startled voice made everyone focus on him. Zhang Xiaoxiao and Jia Shu also walked over. This is the dormitory yard of Songmoding and Hyeguo. They are actually in a large courtyard, but the girls' dormitory is separated by a fence. This is to take care of the girls' privacy. The boys specially made such a thoughtful fence for the girls. Zhang Xiaoxiao and Jia Shu stood in the yard, and sure enough they saw that there was a lot of chaos in the yard. More than a dozen grown men were there, chasing each other. Those who caught rabbits, and those who caught pheasants. Not to mention seeing this living creature, everyone became energetic one by one. Zhang Xiaoxiao couldn't help but feel a little strange. She scratched her head. The appearance of this rabbit and pheasant was too sudden. And if she read that right, the rabbits and pheasants were all together, and so many people were catching them, but they didn't even try to run away. Just lying there in the snow and chewing the snow. Shouldn't this rabbit and pheasant eat wild vegetables or something? Why did you come here to chew the snow, and why did you come to their yard to chew the snow? This is too abnormal. When did rabbits have a soft spot for snow? There is so much snow on the mountain, and the pheasants and rabbits don't just go to the forest farm to gnaw. This is not about throwing yourself into a trap. Is a rabbit or a pheasant stupid? They are still dreaming. Several male-educated youths in the yard were very excited. Because of the heavy snow recently, they stayed in the yard and had no chance to move around. Fortunately, now, there were wild animals bumping into the door. This is meat. Although they still have dozens of kilograms of wild boar meat, who can think of too much meat? The snow on the mountain will not melt, so they have no chance to go up the mountain. Those who are not afraid of death will not be so stupid. This meat is one meal less than one meal. It doesn't take a while. The boys caught 5 rabbits and 3 pheasants. Gu Dali was so excited. They still remember the pheasant that Zhang Xiaoxiao roasted last time. Xiaoxiao, if you recover, you can roast pheasant for us tonight. Several people are drooling. Songmoding shook his head speechlessly. I don't agree with roasting pheasants. I think the rabbits and pheasants were not injured this time. And let us catch them obediently. In this case, who knows when the snow disaster will happen to end. Keeping them can also be used as our food reserve. As soon as Zhang Xiaoxiao recovered, he asked others to roast pheasants, which meant that Gu Dali had no brains. Songmoting was reluctant to part with him. I firmly disagree, it is still a righteous and upright principle. Zhang Xiaoxiao also nodded in agreement. Brother Song is right. Who knows how long this snowstorm will last? We don't have enough food and supplies. If we keep these rabbits and pheasants, maybe we can create something for us. If I read it correctly, this pheasants, but they are all hens. If they can lay eggs, we will have eggs to eat. There are male and female rabbits, and we may not have all the meat for this winter. Compared to eating a meal of roasted pheasant, I think this will keep the water flowing. The main thing is her food. Although she can't take it out, if she feeds chickens and rabbits, she has to make arrangements for it herself. Gu Dali was unconvinced. Raising rabbits and raising chickens also requires food. The little food we have is not enough for them. We can't even eat enough, so we might as well just eat them and save some food. Zhang Xiaoxiao laughed so much that he bent over, and the others were also speechless. Gu Dali is the best eater among them and the one who likes to eat the most. As long as he talks about eating, he will never give up. Okay, I am responsible for raising these rabbits and pheasants. The little food comes from my rations. I always feel that if everyone continues like this, their bodies will definitely not be able to bear it, so they must supplement some meat and eggs. After it snows, you can't go to the mountains. By raising them, we might be able to improve everyone's lives. And Gu Dali, if you eat this chicken today, there is really no guarantee that the eggs laid by this hen will hatch out. In 2 days, we will be able to eat roasted chicken every day. If you eat all this hen, there will be nothing left at all. Gu Dali was moved when he heard it. If I could eat roast chicken every day, I would be willing to do so even if I can't eat it now. Okay, raising chickens and rabbits is for all of us. How can we feed this little one? If we all share it, each of us will eat one less bite, and these little guys will be full. Songmoting presided over the work. Here, everyone treats Songmoting as a little boss. It can also be regarded as the backbone of everyone. Once the matter was decided, the educated youths began to do their own thing. First, they cleaned up the house. Songmoting and Hyeguo moved into the house of the educated youths. These rabbits and pheasants are raised directly in the house. They were quite clever with their hands and made some chicken coops and rabbit cages directly from the wood. In order to save resources, chickens and rabbits are naturally raised in the room where the ginseng seedlings are grown. Would rather they freeze than freeze the ginseng seedlings. Ginseng meow, there is a fire pit in this house, and chickens and rabbits are kept in the outside area of this house, which is considered to be a good use. They are working enthusiastically here, but the director of the forestry farm is worried. They don't have to worry about fuel or anything, because everyone will definitely go up the mountain every year before winter to stock up on all the fuel. Even if these are not enough, they can find some small, hard-to-use wood from the piles of wood behind the forest farm and use it as firewood. The problem is that food is not easy to handle. They only received food for 3 months. This snow is too heavy. If there are a few more snows immediately after, we can survive for 3 months, but what about after 3 months? If the snow doesn't melt and the roads are impassable, it's impossible for anyone to send food up. There are more than 100 workers and family members in the forestry factory. This is all mouth. Zhang Xiaoxiao happily went to see the rabbits and pheasants. But I found that the rabbit and pheasant were really well behaved, neither tossing nor making trouble in the cage. This is quite strange. She turned around to check the yard again, and suddenly found the place where rabbits and pheasants had gathered just now. It seems to be the place where I wiped my hands with snow after feeding Songmoting peaches that day. There seems to be some connection. There was something in my heart. My eyes widened in surprise. Could it be that these rabbits and pheasants were attracted by the smell of peach water in the snow after wiping their hands? It has been several days. How did you attract a few rabbits and pheasants? She couldn't figure out the reason for this for a while. She guessed that it was probably because of the heavy wind and snow that all the wild animals on the mountains hid. There is no chance of discovery. It may also be that the taste of peaches is very weak and can only attract nearby wild animals. It is also possible that the snow has dropped a lot in the past 2 days, and the rabbits and pheasants will be attracted by the smell of the snow when they are nearby. If this is really the case, then they will have no shortage of meat this winter. At that time, wouldn't this be a natural trap? But she just scratched her head. All her food was produced in space. Why was this peach the only one that attracted these wild animals? And peaches seem to have the greatest effect on the human body after eating them. After eating those rice and white noodles, although my body felt a slight change, the change was not big. Up to now, the laws of this space have not yet been understood. You can only explore slowly and bit by bit. Since you can't escape through space, you can always figure out the rules by yourself. This space is only good for her, not bad. At least if they really encounter a disaster, the food in this space will be enough for them to survive the crisis. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 147. Chapter 147. What is this function? Zhang Xiaoxiao went back. That night, while Jiashu was asleep, she went to the space by herself. Anyway, it was done with mental strength. Even if Jiashu woke up, she would not notice anything unusual about herself. However, when I came to the space, I was greatly shocked. If the original space is considered space, it is only a very small space. Unexpectedly, when I came in this time, I found that the space had changed a lot. The original spring has turned into a waist-deep stream. Those fertile lands also became 5 pieces. The peach trees on the piece of land with peach trees have changed a lot. There are still 12 peaches on a tree. But the peach now is completely different from the peach I first saw. Each one is always about the size of a fist, and they are juicy and red, which is very pleasing to the eye. Especially the aroma, which tastes better than the first time I ate peaches. The problem is that just the smell of care makes people want to eat it in one bite. This fragrance seems to have a strong appeal to people. These are not only different, but also have 2 more pieces of land. Zhang Xiaoxiao himself is a little dazed. Until now, he still hasn't figured out how this space is upgraded. From the first piece of land to the next 3 pieces of land, and now to the current 5 pieces of land, she has no idea how it develops. It means from the 3 fields to the 5 fields. The most strange thing that happened in the middle was that I suddenly slept for 3 days and 3 nights. Is it possible that this space upgrade has something to do with myself? Moreover, the space has changed a lot. Originally, except for the spring water and the area around the land, everything was covered in white fog, making it difficult to see anything. But now there is a sudden change. As the land area increases, the surrounding scenery suddenly becomes blurry, and the white mist becomes much lighter. You can feel the golden light shining. This golden light should be far away from the current location. The question is, what is this golden light? Zhang Xiaoxiao felt itchy in his heart. But she tried again, trying to walk through the white mist into the mist, but she couldn't do it. It seems that this space has its own natural laws. If you don't complete the upgrade, expand this space little by little. There is no way to understand what is in this space. Zhang Xiaoxiao had no choice but to return to her peach tree with her eyebrows drooping. The peaches on this peach tree were much different from the peaches she saw for the first time. Just looking at this peach, she felt in her heart that this peach was definitely the same as the one she saw for the first time. The first time I ate peaches. There is already a big difference. How about picking one off and giving it a try? It's definitely not a bad thing anyway. In the past, peaches could be regarded as a cure-all for all diseases. The space has been upgraded. Even if this peach cannot cure all diseases, at least it will not be harmful to the body. This peach is as sweet as honey when you bite into it. With such a taste, Zhang Xiaoxiao felt that he had never tasted such delicious peaches in his previous life and this life combined. This kind of taste is probably unique. It's so delicious. After eating, Zhang Xiaoxiao felt completely comfortable, and then nothing happened. Zhang Xiaoxiao doesn't give up. What's next? Straight out of space. It's really nothing special. Zhang Xiaoxiao lay there for a long time. When he ate for the first time, black dirt was still discharged from his body. This time there seems to be no black mud at all. It means that the whole body is warm, and it is a feeling of warmth that surrounds the whole body. A feeling similar to infuriating energy, which makes people feel comfortable and relaxed. What is this? Zhang Xiaoxiao didn't give up, got up and went out. This peach can't just be like this. She thought gloomily that she was not sick, so she couldn't seek illness. This is not a good experiment. Zhang Xiaoxiao had an idea. Go straight to the kitchen. Find a kitchen knife and try it by cutting yourself. This can be considered a disease. Then the knife cut a little bit of the skin. Zhang Xiaoxiao, what are you doing? The sound of his voice made Zhang Xiaoxiao's hands tremble. The kitchen knife fell to the ground. Then Song Moding and Hyeguo appeared in stride. Song Moding glanced at the kitchen knife on the ground, but Hyeguo didn't see it and took off his clothes while scolding him. See for yourself. Why do you come out wearing a fleece jacket, not even a coat? What kind of weather is it now? What should I do if I catch a cold? You are really like this. No wonder your elder brother asked me to take care of you. You are too careless. Zhang Xiaoxiao took a look at himself and saw that he was indeed wearing a thin fleece jacket. The temperature here was at least 30 degrees below zero. But standing here, I don't feel cold. I didn't feel the cold at all. That. Zhang Xiaoxiao thought numbly, has this peach mutated? Does it also have a heating function? No way. The warmth-keeping function is useless, and it might as well eliminate all diseases. I will not upgrade myself and lose my advantages. There is no place to cry like this. Then her eyes fell on her arm. The eyes are scary. Song Moding noticed something was wrong. A coat fell on Zhang Xiaoxiao's shoulders first. Brother, he is right, you are really worrying. Song Moding's coat fell on her body. Stand sideways to block Hyeguo. Hyeguo looked at the coat in his hand. Song Moding took off his coat and just wore a fleece coat, which was no better. Never mind. He also saw that Song Moding was a little different from Zhang Xiaoxiao. They are both men, so he can feel that Song Moding treats Zhang Xiaoxiao differently. I'm fine, I'm going back to sleep first. I couldn't sleep just now, so I went out for a walk. I probably slept too much during the day. Zhang Xiaoxiao turned around and left in a panic. He ignored them both. Then throw them away. Hyeguo took a look and found that Zhang Xiaoxiao was not such a hot-tempered person. Go back, looks like everything is fine. Song Moding gave Hyeguo a thumbs up. Hyeguo shuddered. Hurry up, or you'll catch a cold. Running back in a hurry. Song Moding picked up the kitchen knife from the ground and put it back to its original position. What is Zhang Xiaoxiao doing with a kitchen knife? In the middle of the night, I ran to the kitchen and took a kitchen knife. Suddenly I noticed that there seemed to be some blood on the kitchen knife. Song Moding's heart sank. Clean up quietly and go back. Passing by Zhang Xiaoxiao's dormitory, it was quiet inside. Song Moding thought for a while and went back to sleep. Zhang Xiaoxiao was lying on the bed, unable to sleep at all. By the moonlight, she looked left and right. No matter how she looked, her arms were as smooth as jade, with no trace at all. She clearly remembered that she had a cut at that time. Although she was reluctant to be cruel because of the pain, it was definitely broken. There was blood. But now, there is nothing on the arm. Anyone who looks at it will know that there is nothing wrong with this arm. It seemed like it was her imagination. Zhang Xiaoxin thought. Not only was the peach warm, it also had the ability to cure all diseases. In other words, the original function was to eliminate all diseases, but now it just has one more function. It can make the wound recover as before instantly. My heart became excited. She felt that what she had just experienced was incomplete. This wound recovery was achieved by a peach. Or can you do it with just a bite of a peach? This is the key. Zhang Xiaoxiao quietly stood up, walked to the door of the outer room wearing a fleece jacket, then opened the door crack and quietly came to the kitchen. The kitchen knife cuts down. This time it's much deeper. The speed of recovery this time is visible to the naked eye, almost less than a minute. Zhang Xiaoxiao was disappointed. He had forgotten that he had eaten a whole peach, and logically speaking, the effect had not expired. The best way is to wait until the peach fails before experimenting. Then I realized something didn't seem right. This middle of the night, the temperature dropped to its lowest point. In the past, she would bundle up tightly when she went out for fear of freezing. When I came back that morning, I was so cold that I was still shivering. At that time the temperature was higher than now. But now it seems that the cold wind has passed by, just passing by, nothing special. There is no chill at all on my body. Still warm. Do peaches also have heating effect? Or is it just my own illusion? It's really a headache. You must solve this puzzle yourself. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 148. Chapter 148 Dried Peach. Zhang Xiaoxiao made breakfast for everyone without anyone getting up early in the morning. White rice porridge, plus steamed buns, and shredded pickles. I had already eaten a bowl. While greeting everyone to get up and eat. On the other hand, I went to the ginseng seedling house to feed the chickens and rabbits. She took some cabbage from her room, mixed it with some cornmeal, chopped it up and fed it to the chickens. Rabbit is a whole cabbage. If Jiashu knew this, she would be heartbroken to death. It must be said that Zhang Xiaoxiao is a loser. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at the rabbits and chickens that were eating happily. It seems that these guys have grown a little bigger. They were very excited when they saw Zhang Xiaoxiao, they were really jumping up and down. Zhang Xiaoxiao suddenly had a feeling that they seemed to know something. After eating and drinking, Zhang Xiaoxiao quietly found two tall and strong ginseng seedlings and threw them into the space. These ginseng seedlings are ginseng seedlings that little thief Zhang secretly processed in the space and were watered with spiritual spring water. I hope they live up to expectations. Otherwise, how could he look so pleasant? I didn't see how carefully Jiashu took care of me every day. No one knows the specific growth rate of ginseng seedlings anyway. In addition, these ginseng seedlings only grow strong and are not as scary as they grow in space. Even if someone saw it, they would at most think that this ginseng seedling was really rare, but no one would guess anything. Of course, it's because they are fire pits, and many people probably think that they have the effect of a warming tent. If the director of a real forest farm came to see it, he would probably be shocked. You must know that it only takes a few months to cultivate the ginseng seedlings here. How is it possible? It's a pity that the director of the forest farm is busy fighting the disaster and has no time to hang out with them. Jiang's small space has become 5 pieces of land, and the land is empty. She has always been confused about why only the peach trees planted in the first plot of land produced good results, and the peaches mutated, while the wheat and rice she planted later did not undergo fundamental mutations. Zhang Xiaoxiao couldn't figure out the pattern, and the land behind him couldn't be left empty. So they planted ginseng and huanghuali. There are a lot of seeds and saplings in my own space. She thought about it for a while and planted a huanghuali to see what it would look like. She had a hunch that planting short-term crops such as saplings and grain on this land seemed to be slightly different. I am very much looking forward to the growth rate of this ginseng seedling. Anyway, our space has a brutal growth rate. Of course, Zhang Xiaoxiao is still experimenting. She can feel that the warm feeling on her body has disappeared when she woke up this morning. She even tried it with a kitchen knife. Although the wound was also healing, it took an hour to heal this time. Zhang Xiaoxiao decided to try again at night. The educated youths had already gotten up and had breakfast after washing up. Song Moding went there but did not see Zhang Xiaoxiao. "Where's Zhang Xiaoxiao, what are you doing without eating?" Song Moding was worried about Zhang Xiaoxiao. Someone who slept for 3 days and 3 nights must be weak. He would get up suddenly and run out. He was not worried about what was wrong with his body. Jia Shu smiled and said, "Brother Song, don't worry." Xiao Xiao went to feed the chickens and rabbits. She had eaten just now. When I called her, she was playing well with the chickens and rabbits. "Why don't you said, those pheasants and rabbits are actually quite strong. I look a lot older than yesterday. I didn't expect that pheasants and rabbits, which are said to be wild and difficult to tame, are so easy to feed here." Gu Dali glanced at his injured wound and asked, "Is that the pheasant you were talking about that you caught yesterday?" He felt deeply hurt. Jia Shu definitely did it on purpose, targeting herself every time. "Is that pheasant so easy to catch yesterday? I almost blinded myself." The few remaining educated youths who caught pheasants and rabbits also expressed their opinions. "I guess those pheasants and rabbits were hungry all night and are now honest. When we caught them yesterday, they were very good." Jia Shu saw the injuries on several people's arms and felt sorry. How could she have forgotten that they were all injured? What she said seemed to be doubting the strength of these people. But she was also a little surprised. Today she saw those chickens and rabbits acting well there. Those pheasants and rabbits are not ferocious at all, they are very obedient. She even reached out and touched the rabbit. But let's not say this here. Speaking it out becomes a show-off. Maybe I saw it wrong. Jia Shu quickly changed the subject. Song Moding quickly finished his meal and arranged today's tasks, even though they didn't have much work. But Cat Dong couldn't just rest in the house. After dinner today, the boy and I plowed the snow off the roof and the yard. Of course, if possible, we also plowed out the snow on the road outside the door. After all, the snow has stopped today. According to the situation, it should be able to stop for 2 days. Sky. We must act quickly before the snow melts, and work harder if we can. Gu Dali looked outside. "I thought I could stop working in the winter and hide in the house to rest. Who knows where I'll be working? In the production brigades down the mountain, their lives must be more relaxed than the rest of us. How patriotic and happy. Okay, stop talking and let's get to work quickly. People say that auspicious snow heralds a good harvest. The snow has stopped in the past 2 days, so we should take the opportunity to tidy up the place quickly. Otherwise, when the next heavy snow comes, it may not be possible what's going on." After this first snowfall, everyone has objectively understood what the first winter here will be like. You must know that it is only December, and it is already so cold here. After eating, everyone hurried out to work, carrying shovels and brooms, and everyone was very excited. The workers at the forestry farm were ahead of them. It's very hot outside. Zhang Xiaoxiao and Jia Shu boiled 2 large pots of hot water and helped the male educated youths wash and dry their clothes. You have to know that in the winter here, clothes can freeze into popsicles in an instant if they are hung outside. After washing the clothes, you can only put them on the ropes in the house, otherwise the clothes will not dry. 2 people should always do what they can. Zhang Xiaoxiao had a sudden idea there. His peach tree could bear 12 peaches every time. If he didn't pick all the peaches, the tree would not bear any more peaches. But I can't take out these fresh peaches in the winter, It would be too scary. I can't explain it clearly. I have to think of some way to make reasonable use of these peaches and make the peach trees continue to bear peaches. After all, the function of this peach is too powerful. She thought for a while, and the only way was to make these peaches into dried peaches. When the preserved fruit is made, no one can tell why it is made. They can also lie and claim that they brought it from home. In case of any emergency, these dried peaches can explain it clearly. But making dried peaches is not that easy. Zhang Xiaoxiao thought that it would be nice if he could have a stove in his space. Then he could put a big pot in it and make dried peaches in it. It's a pity that I can't make this stove myself. Well, it's just not convenient here. If they could go to the county town, they could buy a stove and put it directly in the space, but there is no way now. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Lucky Bag is Reborn with Space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 149. Chapter 149, Leaking the News. On the third day, Zhang Xiaoxiao cut himself. It was impossible to heal. At least the wound was still very painful the next day. Zhang Xiaoxiao knew that the effect of peach only lasted for 3 days, and the effect became worse every day. This time she took a bite of the peach. The wound healed only after 3 hours. Next experiment. Zhang Xiao ate half of the peach. The wound heals in 1 hour. The last time, Zhang Xiaoxiao ate the whole peach and healed almost instantly. Also Zhang Xiaoxiao found that no matter how big or small the wound was, the effect of peaches was the same. In other words, her peach is very powerful and treats injuries indiscriminately. Zhang Xiaoxiao knew the efficacy and started making dried peaches. She built herself an earthen baking box. Bricks are laid out, then covered with soil, and iron plates are used as intervals. The fire is burned underground, and when a lid is placed on top, it will be in a smoldering state. It was also said that the production of dried peaches was very successful. At least Zhang Xiaoxiao had stored a large amount of inventory. Anyway, he had nothing to do, and he had nothing to do. These dried peaches can be sent to parents so that they can have something for self-defense. After doing this, Zhang Xiaoxiao had already taken out all the high school course books he had brought. After all, at that time, she just saw that these books were part of the high school curriculum and threw them into her own space without even looking at how many books she had taken. As long as it works. There is still 1 year left before the college entrance examination. This year she will review in advance and encourage everyone to study in advance. Anyway, once it starts to snow heavily this winter, everyone will stay in the house and have nothing to do. Not to mention, the snow only stopped for 2 days and then started falling again. This heavy snow forced everyone to stay indoors. No one wanted to go out. It was too cold outside. The board-educated youths gathered together and played cards in groups of 3 or 5. Songmoting and Hyeguo didn't like playing cards either, so they went to visit Zhang Xiaoxiao and the others. I saw Zhang Xiaoxiao and Jiashu reading. When they saw that there were so many books here, their eyes lit up. Who brought this book? Why did you bring a book here? These days, except for primary schools, schools are basically closed. Most people really don't have access to books. What's more, they are educated youths. When they came, they could barely carry their luggage. Who could carry such a heavy book? Songmoting suddenly thought of Zhang Xiaoxiao. When this girl came, she had a lot of luggage, big and small, and he had helped her with it, but the luggage was quite heavy. I brought it. Oh my God, Zhang Xiaoxiao, you are so good. You brought so many books here. It's not too heavy for you. No wonder your elder brother asked me to take care of you along the way. Can you do this if I don't take care of you? You're not here to be an educated youth and go to the countryside. I think you're here for a spring outing. Hyeguo dared to say that he still remembered Zhang words. You can pull it down, I brought it here specially. Song Moding picked up a book. Turned over. It is a high school textbook. There are also some high school study materials. School has been closed a long time ago. Besides, haven't you graduated from high school? Why are you taking out these high school textbooks? Let me tell you, I have inside information. My godfather and godmother are the directors of a famous large hospital. They have students all over the world. Their students told them that the country is studying new policies. It is estimated that although now it has not been announced, but the resumption of the college entrance examination is already being considered. My godfather and godmother also told me, probably within the past 2 years, that I should prepare early to take the college entrance examination in the future. So, look, I brought so many books. This is not a rainy day plan. Zhang Xiaoxiao proudly raised the book in his hand. Telling a lie that has never happened before, the godfather and godmother really do exist, but contact has been broken off long ago. If I remember correctly, the godfather and godmother will be taken abroad by his son in a few years. They have had no contact since then. He is also the best scapegoat. Song Moding looked at the bright black eyes, which were filled with confidence, and his heart moved. Before he came, he heard from his uncle that the central government was currently discussing new policies. It was said that one of the policies was about resuming the college entrance examination. However, it has only been put on the agenda. There is indeed no final conclusion on how and when it will be implemented. According to Zhang Xiaoxiao's words and his uncle's words, it is very likely that many people have received the news. Since the news has come out, if the college entrance examination is resumed, it will only happen within 1 or 2 years. So if they review in advance, taking the college entrance examination will really be a way out in the future. After all, it is extremely difficult for educated youth to return to the city, but it is different if they are admitted to university. Not only Song Moding, but also Hyeguo's eyes lit up. You know, who doesn't want to go to college? It's just that the country cancelled the college entrance examination, which brought everyone's dreams to an abrupt end. But it's different now. If the college entrance examination is resumed, who among them wouldn't want to return to the city? Zhang Xiaoxiao, since there is no way around this matter, let's just stay idle in the winter and organize everyone to start studying anyway. Idle time is idle. Hyeguo came forward. Mainly because he felt that since everyone lived together, it would be unreasonable not to tell other people about it. The 13 of them get along very well, and they have the same temperament. No one is the kind of person who is picky, verbose, and petty. Since there is such a good thing, of course everyone should know about it. Zhang Xiaoxiao also had this intention. If it were other people, maybe she would still hide it, but everyone in their small group is a cheerful person, and no one is a small-minded person. In this case, whoever is willing to learn, she certainly hopes that the other person will have a good future in the future. Moreover, what they learned must be hidden from the forest farm employees and farm directors, otherwise it would be a fatal matter if others discovered it. They would definitely be regarded as some elements and be reformed through labor. No one advocates learning at this time. Song Moding nodded and said, well, Zhang Xiaoxiao, we all don't have any books, so I would like to trouble you to lend some to us so that we can all exchange and study with each other, and we can be divided into several study groups. I would close the courtyard door during the day and hide in the house to study. Anyway, I could see the outside at a glance from the window in the courtyard. If someone comes, we will collect it quickly. To avoid being discovered. Zhang Xiaoxiao nodded excitedly. So Song Moding and Hyeguo went back to tell everyone the news. Although it is said vaguely, many people have heard that there is an opportunity to take the college entrance examination. If the college entrance examination is resumed, Who wouldn't want to go to college? Many people are moved in their hearts. However, there are some people who are unmoved, such as Gudali and others who are very strong, and they never study well at home. Now asking them to study would be like killing them, so Gudali patted his chest and promised that they would serve as sentries. In this case, there are people working in the yard, and if someone comes in, there are still people playing cards in the house, and no one will notice anything strange. They are responsible for covering. Songmoting really hates the fact that iron cannot become steel, and Gudali is really not good at studying. When I was in school, I spent 3 days fishing and 2 days drying nets. Now it may be even harder for him to learn on his own consciously. Besides, when studying this matter, no one knows whether or when the future policy will be implemented. This is just a matter of making preventive preparations in advance, and your efforts may not necessarily pay off. This thing really cannot be forced on others. So 6 people wanted to join the study group. The remaining 5 people and Gudali formed a group, and they wanted to play around and do whatever they had to do. Zhang Xiaoxiao and the others were divided into 2 study groups. Zhang Xiaoxiao also divided out a copy of the learning materials that he repeated and gave them to another group. Songmoting and Hyeguo joined Zhang Xiaoxiao and Jiashu's study group. During the day, they would go to the houses of female-educated youths to study, and at night they would naturally go back. Not to mention, with the addition of Songmoting and Hyeguo, Zhang Xiaoxiao felt more confident. Mainly because of her high school education, which was really mixed up, plus she didn't go to college back then. Although he later became a doctor, it was because of the national policy that encouraged rural doctors to become regular, that it was possible for him to become a regular doctor. Otherwise, how could she have that ability? In other words, academic qualifications are a flaw, but Songmoting and Hyeguo are real high school graduates and are top academics. Especially Songmoting. From this knowledge, it can be seen that Songmoting's family atmosphere is definitely extraordinary. What knowledge points are available at your fingertips? With the help of these 2 people to explain to them, she and Jiashu have indeed made rapid progress, and many problems have been solved. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 150. Chapter 150 New Year's Eve. It's the new year. Zhang Xiaoxiao and the others welcomed their first year at Kenking Farm in heavy snow. The snow this year was so heavy that they were trapped on the mountain. It has snowed 5 times in succession, and the snow is quite heavy each time. Tomorrow is the first day of the Lunar New Year. For them, this is the first New Year spent away from home, but it is also a New Year isolated from the rest of the world. After the heavy snow closed the mountains, the news between people outside and people inside has been cut off. The phone line was directly cut due to the heavy wind and snow at the beginning, and there was no one to repair it. According to the director of the forestry farm, this kind of wind and snow is a common occurrence for them. If the phone line is not working, then it cannot be connected. As long as you have food and drink, you can survive. The biggest impact of several consecutive heavy snowstorms is that they have no way to go up the mountain, hunt for prey, and certainly cannot cut firewood. Fortunately, everyone has made preparations in advance. The firewood is enough for them to burn until the beginning of spring. According to the words of the farm director Guo Dongjun, as long as the snow melts after the beginning of spring, for them, there will be a lot of firewood in this place. Since there is no strenuous physical labor every day, everyone should eat less if they can, save food, and persist until spring. Zhang Xiaoxiao's life is much better than they imagined. You know, everyone now admires Songmoting's wise decision. They raise rabbits in nests, with at least 6 in each nest and sometimes more than a dozen. Everyone was surprised when they saw this rabbit. They had never raised animals before, and they didn't know how Zhang Xiaoxiao raised these rabbits. This rabbit basically grew up in a month. And he grew fat and strong. Looking at each of these rabbits, they weigh at least 10 pounds. They are all children who grew up in the city. This is the first time they have raised such a farmed animal, so no one has any idea. No one knows how long it will take for this rabbit to grow up. Only Zhang Xiaoxiao knew in her heart that the rabbits she raised did grow too fast. Although this rabbit is not raised in the space, it is good to eat the cabbage and cornmeal from her space. This rabbit grows very fast. It will grow into an adult rabbit in less than a month. So you see, the male rabbit and the female rabbit are fine and continue to give birth to little rabbits. They are going to catch up with the breeding farm here. The nests are scurrying out one after another. Since they raised rabbits, they really have no shortage of meat to eat. They roast rabbits, stir-fry rabbit cubes, stir-fry rabbit slices, braised rabbit meat every day. Anyway, there are various flavors and tricks. For them, it really doesn't matter whether they can go up the mountain or not. Eating rabbit meat not only saves food, but also makes educated youth stronger and stronger. Coupled with Zhang Xiaoxiao and Jia Shu's good craftsmanship, they can cook rabbit meat in various ways. Everyone has gained at least 10 pounds now. And it's not just rabbit meat, the chickens raised here can lay 2 eggs a day. This hen lays eggs, as everyone knows. 1 egg a day is like the sky. The result was good. Their chickens were stronger than other chickens, and they laid an egg in the morning and evening. Even they were surprised. They didn't expect that the pheasant they caught was a fighter among pheasants. Everyone eats a wild egg every day. You can imagine how good their food is. In addition, the pheasants have nothing to do and they have to put some chicks out, so they really have to catch up with chicken farms and rabbit farms here. The surplus rabbit meat and wild eggs are also exchanged for some items or grains with the forest farm employees. The price is very low. The main purpose is to take care of everyone. Bai Ying is afraid of developing bad habits, and he can't bear it when he collects too much. Everyone is stuck on the mountain. They can be regarded as brothers in need. Helping each other should be done. But everyone's quality of life has indeed been greatly improved. Instead, all 10 pigs froze to death, mainly because there was no place to raise pigs. Zhang Xiaoxiao was fast asleep at that time and had no chance to create a miracle for the pig. Zhang Xiaoxiao and Jia Shu also used the peeled rabbit skins to make a rabbit skin cotton padded jacket for each of them. This cotton padded jacket made of rabbit skin can block more wind than those military coats. Of course, the two of them are not good at tanning. Song Moding and Hyeguo took the lead in figuring out this tanning job. I don't know what these two are thinking about all day long, but this kind of thing happens naturally to them. Not only rabbit skin cotton padded jackets, but also rabbit skin mattresses and rabbit quilts. Anyway, they have developed many varieties of rabbit skin. So their little life was really good. In the past month or so, every time Guo Dongjun, the director of the forest farm, came, he would not bother to enter their yard. Instead, he would directly shout outside the yard, telling them that it was time to clear the snow today and that it was time to shovel the snow tomorrow. Everyone was busy shoveling and clearing the snow. After all, the house in their forest farm could not bear the snow. Everyone just stayed in the house, studying, working, eating and drinking. No, let's discuss it, everyone. Tomorrow is the Chinese New Year, and New Year's Eve is the first time they celebrate the New Year outside. Making dumplings is a bit troublesome. The main reason is that the tastes are not uniform. There are more than 10 people from all over the world. There are people from all over the world. There are Southerners and Northerners. Southerners eat rice cakes during the Chinese New Year, while Northerners eat dumplings during the Chinese New Year. How can they eat this? Go together? Zhang Xiaoxiao thought for a while and suggested that everyone just eat hot pot. There are 13 of them anyway. They do have this small clay oven. There are many small charcoal basins like this in the forest farm. But there is no coal for burning here, everyone burns wood. Put 2 pots on the fire. When they were assigned to the forest farm, they were given 1 large pot and 2 small pots, and these small pots came in handy. There wasn't a lot of stuff, but everyone was still happy. Zhang Xiaoxiao fried the hot pot base directly. Although the seasoning was not complete, he could make do with it here. There is no butter, but they have chicken fat, rabbit fat, and lard. Because people come from all over the world, everyone brings some seasonings of their own taste. Putting these seasonings together allowed Zhang Xiaoxiao to stir-fry the spicy hot pot base. The rabbit meat was turned into slices and marinated directly, including the chicken. They were all marinated and ready to be put into the pot. Of course, Zhang Xiaoxiao also made some chicken meatballs, rabbit meatballs, and pork meatballs. They still have some potatoes and cabbage stored in the cellar. Wash it clean, cut it into pieces, put it in a basin and bring it up directly, plus vermicelli and tofu, which are produced by their own workers on the farm. These things are still available, but tofu has long since turned into frozen tofu. In this weather, it is not easy to eat fresh tofu. Anyway, Ling Ling Zong Zong actually managed to get a table together. Zhang Xiaoxiao didn't dare to go out and get the cabbage, as well as the cucumbers and tomatoes he grew. Taking these things out doesn't scare anyone to death. But she can also store sesame oil and sesame paste in her space. She is a foodie herself, and when her mother Fan Jiuying came, she was afraid that she would not be able to eat these things. Having brought a lot of big and small bags, it's a good thing now that they are all put to use. After mixing the seasonings, we gathered around the table and started eating, steaming hot. Drinking the roasted knife that is unique here on the farm and cannot be found elsewhere. This is wine brewed by farm workers themselves. Every year after harvesting grain, the workers will brew some wine themselves. No, they can get some wine from the workers. It is not suitable for Bai to ask for wine, so he usually exchanges eggs, rabbits, or pheasants. Of course, they exchange rabbits and pheasants for things, and the workers welcome them. Mutual benefit for everyone. Please give me monthly votes, favorites, recommendations, and comments. End of this chapter.